Welcome back to Catch Up with Kai and Cohen. This is our now, I think, 17th episode.
I have no idea.
No, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
It's been 2 months now since we started. I think
Dude,
we
time
started
flies.
at the end of April.
Yeah.
And then now it would be the beginning of July. 2 months have passed. We've kept up. You know?
We tried to, at least.
No,
Actually,
we
the
kept up.
schedule, we've only missed that one day. Would you count that as a missed day? Did we miss a day?
Yeah, but then we had a very, very valid excuse. You were away.
Yeah, I was gone for like a week and a half or something.
Yeah. And other than that, we literally made all our obligations and scheduling like twice a week. Like
True.
We started off with once a week and then twice a week. And then we were just talking about the stats. Our downloads and views are growing. You know what I
Luckily.
mean?
Oh yeah, what was the newest country that started listening to us, if you remember?
I don't remember.
It was something though. Maybe we'll edit it in, or next episode we'll talk about it.
But I do know that the country we get the most listens from is the States.
Let's go, America.
Not Canada, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. They have like 10 times the amount of people we do.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you for tuning in.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
We're going to continue on. And hopefully, episode by episode, I think we try to work on new things.
Yeah.
We try to give each other feedback and see what we can improve. But we're still tinkering things out, working things out as well. But this time we're doing this whole Tuesday, Thursday series. And for this one, we're continuing on with what we talked about last time, just going on social media to see any interesting topics to talk about of what people have mentioned. But yeah, so I got one.
Yeah.
I'll first give you the title.
Okay.
And then we can make a judgment there just from that.
Yeah.
And then I'll read the context, the entire post.
And just to clarify, for the most part, this is our first times reading this stuff too. Like briefly skimmed over the story, but
it sounded interesting.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for telling my brother he chooses to be depressed all the time?
So just judging off the title,
Yeah.
kind of sounds like an asshole.
I agree.
It's hard not
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, it's hard to find a situation where it's appropriate to berate someone, especially all the time for being depressed. But let's see what this person has to say.
Okay. So I, 20-year-old female, and my brother, 25-year-old male, don't have a great relationship. Never truly have, to be honest. I've always been aware that he's been fairly socially awkward his entire life, which has resulted him in being pretty depressed. I myself also struggle with mental health issues, and it's been something that we've been aware for years that mental health struggles are genetic in our family. I've tried to be very sympathetic to my brother since I understood what it's like to struggle, and I really do think he needs a decent amount of help. Our parents have taken him to go to several different mental hospitals and treatment facilities over the years. We've given him a cocktail of medications. Our parents offered to pay for his education, paid for 3 different cars for him since he likes cars, dropped everything to go to different states for him just to do things he likes, Comic Cons because they desperately wanted him to be happy, but genuinely nothing works. During high school, he'd get into fights and arguments with everyone around him and then cry about how nobody likes him and how he can't help it. During the only 4 months he spent in trade school, he got into another fight and got kicked out, and from then has refused to better his life at all. Our parents let him live under their roof rent-free with no job for years now. All he does is hide in his room, talking to people over Discord and playing video games all day while he's screaming and throwing tantrums about how depressed and helpless he is when he's asked to leave his room or offered to leave the house. Even with me, when I visit our parents' house, he throws a massive tantrum each time about how I'm rubbing in his face that I'm better than him by simply talking about my university classes or just talking about my friends and the clubs at college I attend. Well, a few days ago, I was at our parents' house trying to make plans for my 21st birthday and possibly taking a cruise with my mom to Mexico since we had the money for it, and it's something that my mom has always wanted to do. That's when my brother started throwing his tantrums again about me rubbing in his face that I'm better than him. And honestly, at this point, I've gotten too tired of him throwing tantrum after tantrum over my success that I flat out told him, well, have you ever considered the reason you're so depressed is because you do absolutely nothing with your life besides bitching about how miserable you are? This resulted in a massive argument of him telling me off for how privileged I am for being a woman. because
Whoa.
society loves to give women whatever they want, while us men have to suffer for it. And how I have life so easy compared to him, and me telling him that the reason I'm successful is because I don't cry over Discord all day, and actually took the help given to me and tried to be a better person to not be miserable all the time. So, am I the asshole for telling my brother that it's his fault that he's depressed all the time?
You're judging off it just from going from the last question, asking if she's the asshole for telling her brother that it's his fault that he's depressed all the time. I think it's tough, confronting people about their problems, especially one so big as depression.
Yeah.
But I think in this context, this person is quite valid.
The author.
Yes, the sister is quite valid. I think when someone is severely depressed, speaking as someone that has gone through their own depression, I think lots of things can work to get you out of depression. But sometimes, the conventional things don't work. A lot of things don't work. And sometimes you really do just need a kick in the ass to get your life back together. And this might be that kick in the ass, but I don't think her brother's gonna get it. Yeah. I mean, it's just so hard because clearly this guy is depressed. Like, just judging off that behavior, being stuck in your room all day, every day, talking on Discord with your friends and playing video games, honestly doing not much meaningful stuff with your life, can totally see how, you'll be very depressed. I know a lot of people, even myself, I spent like days on Discord over the summer usually, just playing games and talking with friends, and life feels quite unfulfilling when you're doing that every single day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a feedback loop that just keeps feeding into yourself. You're waking up every day, not doing anything, playing video games, going on Discord, talking to friends. So yeah, I mean, you can see why you're depressed.
Talking to friends, isn't that good for your mental health?
No, because dude, so friendships are very valuable. I think human connection is super valuable. But I think doing it over the internet is it's like you're like tricking yourself. You're tricking your brain that you're like actually doing these things and having like these experiences and socializing. But I think the lack of actual like face-to-face interface, I think that adds to depression. When you're like talking to people but not seeing them, like when it's just like all online, I think that makes depression worse, to be honest.
I agree with you.
And this is like and even more like to adding into the depression, it's because this guy's like at home all the time and only talking to his friends like on Discord. Whatever problems he has are like completely hidden. No one else sees this guy's problems except for the people that are living with him. So it's almost like he himself has like a two-tier double kind of life. The one with his friends on Discord where he's like a normal guy, and then the real him, which is like in front of his family, which is like a depressed guy, but also unfortunately like kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, his actions are like making it worse. But anyways, the point of this about whether she's an asshole for telling her brother that he's depressed all the time. To be honest, I don't think she is. I think it's obviously it looks bad.
Yeah.
But it looks bad because this happened in like a really heated moment,
No,
and like things build up, and when you're trying to hold on to keep them inside, this is exactly what happens. Things build up and build up and build up to the point where you can't hold it in anymore, especially considering like this poor girl is not really even doing anything that the guy's talking about. Like her brother is constantly accusing her of, which might be true, from his perspective, it might be true. We're only getting her perspective, and maybe reality is a little different from what she's presenting, but I'm going to believe her because, that's the whole point. But the things she's doing, like, taking her, going to university or being successful in school or going on a trip with her mom, it's not really bragging, I don't see how that could be like taking anything away from the brother's life. So I'm going to vote not an asshole. But there's still a lot more to this. What do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think she's an asshole for her saying that it's his fault. And then to take a step back, you can't say it's all his fault, to be fair. Like depression.
Depression there's never a singular cause for it.
It's such a complex monster. Like it's saying here that there's a family history of mental health issues. There's probably some like true genetic like component of depression. So
which is facts, right?
Yeah. So you can't blame all of that. But in the context of this, though, I can feel the emotion, the rage that she's feeling. So I still don't think she's an asshole. Like I can sympathize with the brother. Like I can see that from the what she describes that he's struggled throughout his entire life, like including high school, university. It seems like he wasn't able to obtain any like the success like the sister achieved. And trying to see myself from his shoes, like that must have been so discouraging, right?
Mm.
Like it probably was like you were getting pushed down at every, not every, but probably various opportunities or various stages of life that you hope to do better, but unfortunately you're stuck in a really a rut. So that's, I can sympathize with him. But I still think people with depression, there's that big gloom over them, but there's a responsibility for them to take some accountability for themselves, to take that agency for themselves to try to better themselves. You know what I mean? Like she describes this guy who's just playing video games, goes on Discord, gets into fight, doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean?
And he's been through like multiple chances of schooling, you know. In high school, he would get into fights with whoever, and then he went to trade school, and same thing. He got into fights so bad that he got kicked out.
Yeah, like medications aren't working, and sure, that's fine. Like medications in mental health, they're not perfect. If anything, sometimes they do harm more than do good. So that's whatever. But you can do so many things in your life to at least try. You know what I mean? Which I don't see any of that here. Like maybe I'm wrong because it's just that, but I don't see him taking responsibility or accountability or agency of his own actions to better his mental health. If anything, what I see here is he's basically externalizing his helplessness, meaning that he's blaming the context in the situation.
Exactly.
Like he literally says here, oh, like, what is it? Like being privileged for how her sister is as a woman because society loves to give women. You know what I mean? Like he's not taking that internal control, being like, you know what, the outcomes are dependent on my motivation, on my like effort, but blaming the external like setting around him.
Yeah, exactly. So this person, this guy, he is clearly depressed, and I think he clearly has not gotten the specific kind of help that he needs. And I got two thoughts. First of all, you could take the sister completely out of the equation, and this guy would still be depressed. You know, like the sister, and he says like his sister's like privileged, had all these successes. And even you mentioned like his sister had success in school that he didn't, and he must have felt some type of way about that. I think you could completely remove the sister from the situation, like pretend he never had a sister, and he would still find something else external to blame all this shit on.
Yeah. And, I mean, like it does say that he's been fairly socially awkward his entire life to me, which that raises, oh, maybe he's like neurodivergent, maybe like he's on the spectrum or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, like especially when you take into account things like I'm assuming these are physical fights. If he's like getting kicked out of school and stuff, it's got to be something quite intense.
Yeah. So I mean, like I can see the struggles he's going through, and like I guess you can say, oh, maybe she was too harsh to say like this was all his fault, which is not. I'm not saying it like it's all his fault, but some of it he could try to take agency for himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't think the person, the post, she's an asshole for this.
Yeah. Another thing I want to bring up is, so for someone like this, who I'm guessing has been dealing with depression his entire life, or at least since like, his teenage years, whenever puberty starts, I think that's usually when these kinds of problems start to surface. I think one massive issue with depression that I don't know if it gets talked about so much is when you start dealing with depression at such an early age, I think it stifles your growth so hard. I think it stunts your growth so hard.
Yeah.
For example, this man is 25 years old, but just from reading this post, you can tell a lot of his tendencies and mannerisms and, maybe even personality is quite juvenile.
Yeah.
He hasn't grown up out of phases such as like staying at home all day, being okay with not getting anything done, playing video games, getting like lashing out.
Yeah.
That's really stuff that like kids and teenagers and stuff do,
No, and I agree. And like I have to say the parents are also at fault.
Unfortunately, yes.
It's like I'm not like it's unfortunate because no parents wants to see their child be like so depressed, but
Of course.
when you give in to them, like letting him live under a roof, like buying him cars, like
Yeah, 3
like,
cars. That's insane.
like brother, come on, like you can't do that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
clearly
Like,
this is like the entire family is living in
Yeah.
quite a privileged situation.
so now that makes the brother feel like, oh, I'm just this sick guy. Like,
Yeah.
I can't get better.
Yeah.
Everyone's catering to me and supporting me. This is just me.
Yeah.
And that's just making it worse.
Yeah, it feeds into it even more. I have all these things, but I'm not happy. I'll never be happy.
Mhm.
You know, shit like that. And then he starts believing it and thinks he can't do anything.
Yeah,
You know?
literally.
I have all these people doing all these things for me. I'm still not happy. What the hell can I do to get happy?
Yeah.
Which
for
is
sure.
which you know, to make it clear, it is just not to like minimize depression, but a lot of it is in his head. You know,
Yeah.
this belief that it's specifically the belief of being incapable.
No, this is not minimizing depression, but rather showing that depression is so complex.
Mhm.
It's not just about medications,
Mhm.
but so much more.
Mhm.
And there's room and places for like intervening to get better for it.
Would you feel comfortable calling the brother an asshole?
For what you said, yeah, like the last part,
Yeah.
like what do you mean? Like you're a girl and you don't
Oh yeah, I haven't even talked about that.
like
Saying
he's
shit
being
like,
sexist, right? Like, what do
bro,
you
saying
mean?
shit like, listen, I think anyone that doesn't believe this, they're fucking off their rocker. We do live in a man's world, 100%.
Yeah,
At least I believe
100%.
so. We
I
live in a
think so,
man's
too.
world, a world curated for men, by men, and as men, we have so many advantages that women don't have. Sure, you could nitpick. There are a couple advantages that women have over women, but that is so pointless. You know, at the end of the day, as men, we are so much more
Privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Like
from
literally,
birth.
like biologically, literally men are more privileged than
Mhm.
women.
And not even just biologically, socially, just
Yeah.
in so many ways, men are privileged. And for this guy to be saying that
Crazy
his sister
statement.
has more privileges than him is pretty off base, pretty unrealistic, out of touch with reality.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it reinforces my idea that this guy, unfortunately, due to his depression, has had a stunted growth, a stifled growth,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he thinks like this. And hopefully, he gets the help that he needs. And hopefully, this, you know, I don't know if it is, but hopefully, this conversation or this moment in life between him and his sister is some kind of a push.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to see the comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
The most popular one. He doesn't sound depressed. He sounds spoiled. Sorry, but as someone who has suffered depression personally, as well as a significant other with chronic depression doesn't give you a free pass to be an asshole, which I agree. Like, you can be depressed, but that doesn't mean you can be an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nothing else to be said. I agree. Yeah.
I have a problem with the first thing this person said, where this commenter says he doesn't sound depressed, he sounds spoiled. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really fair. I don't even if you're someone that has suffered depression, I think like most people have at some point suffered through depression throughout their life, and everyone's situation is so unique and different. And it's not fair to say like, oh, I've gone through depression, it wasn't like this, so this person can't be depressed.
Next comment, that's the most popular. Not the asshole. Your brother's high on that manosphere sauce, approaching insultdom. I mean, like
A little bit true, but also like
a little bit mean, but like,
Yeah.
you know, like he probably said that out of like a spur, like very intense emotion. So yeah.
Well, and this comment is also like not really helpful.
Yeah.
Like this person is kind of being an asshole by saying your brother's high on that manosphere, blah blah blah.
Yeah. There's one other comment that your only bad take, in my opinion, is definitely this guy's attitude as depression. He is possibly a future incel, though. Like, once again, I don't want to downplay that he's not depressed because, you know, like people who have these like views
About women or
just in general, like kind of that deviates from the cultural norm.
Mhm.
You want to ask, like, why do they have these like beliefs?
Yeah.
Where does it stem from?
Yeah.
And it could very well from like depression,
Yeah.
or it could be like on like vice versa or bi-directional. So I still don't want to downplay that he's not depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, even like if it's not depression, it's always something learned, you know. It's
Yeah.
always a situation of your nurturing.
yeah. And honestly, literally every single comment I see here, she is not the asshole.
Actually, there's one.
Oh.
So there's one that
Oh.
says everyone sucks here. Look, people can't choose not to be depressed or have mental health issues. I do think there's something about a positive outlook and being resilient that some people don't have, but mental health is super complicated. But he was for sure being an asshole first. Enjoy your trip.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, like he's being an asshole. Mental health is super complicated. Some people actually do have a difficult time getting that positive output,
Hmm.
have a positive outlook. But
Yeah.
once again, I think like they need to be at least somewhat accepting of help. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
change needs to come from within.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's incredibly hard. A lot of unfortunately, I think a lot of the blame probably goes on the parents here. I think
yeah.
instead of,
But I don't want to like blame them though.
me
It's
neither.
hard to blame
Like
them
it's so
because like
hard. Yeah.
imagine once again being a parent, your
Like,
kid's
oh yeah,
suffering.
yeah, you're 100% right. Obviously,
Yeah.
no parent ever wants their child to suffer. At least no good parent. And it seems like these parents are trying their best. They're trying to be good parents. At least from the little that we see, they're trying to be interested in his interests and taking him to Comic Con or whatever. At least indulging him with those cars, which arguably probably not the best thing that they could be doing.
Hmm.
And maybe that's a bit of a hint into you know maybe they have like a general kind of a view that they can solve, or at least like throughout their lives they thought they could solve their son's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
problems with like money. Maybe they didn't take it seriously enough by thinking they could like buy him all these cars, and that would solve the issue. So unfortunately, I'm going to say a little bit of the blame probably does go on the parents.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she's not the asshole.
I don't think she's the asshole. Tempers flare up. Unfortunately, you can only deal with so much. This person themselves said that they have had dealt with mental issues in the past, and things like this are hard. It's a struggle, and you can only take so much until eventually you burst.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Probably a good idea to apologize, but
Yeah. But I hope the brother gets the help he needs, and really he needs to take that agency, that motivation for him to change.
mhm. All right. So for the next one, we've got, am I the asshole for starting to refuse to help my disabled mother?
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it sounds like an asshole. I mean, there's got to be a lot of shit your disabled mother is doing for you to not appear to be an asshole for refusing help.
Yeah.
But anyways, this person says, am I the asshole for starting to refuse to help my disabled mother? My mom is entering her mid-50s in a year or two. In her mid-40s, she had a stroke that left her half paralyzed with some movement regained. I'm her youngest out of 7 kids. Once I finish college and get my license, I, like many, will move out. I keep telling my mom I'm not going to be here to help her forever. I've started refusing to help her do tasks I believe she can do on her own if she tries, as well as to make her understand she'll need to either move or change stuff on the house property or hire someone to help. I'm still helping, but I'm not doing everything anymore. Obviously, I don't expect her to lift anything heavy or take the 100-pound dog outside and put on a lead, but she's making it seem like I'm evil for making her learn to adapt and I won't be here forever. Am I the asshole? I think she needs to learn how to be more independent again. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't know, because like you got a stroke,
Well,
half
this
is
is
paralyzed,
tough.
right?
This is tough.
Like, so not a lot of the times you're functioning, you don't actually, most of the times you don't go back to where you function after a stroke.
Really?
You
It's that
can't,
bad?
yeah, like you can't expect a person to just to gain their independence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But-
like
Dude, where are the other kids?
like I gotta sympathize that caregiver burnout is a serious thing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like people who like their parents or their siblings or close members who suffer the stroke, not even just stroke, like serious injury.
Any kind of,
Debilitating
family. Yeah,
injury.
yeah.
It's really hard. Like
Yeah.
it's your entire life is invested in them, right? So
Mhm.
I can sympathize with the caregiver burnout, but maybe the person's a bit too young to.
Did they mention how old they were?
No, but this is the sense I get. But because to have an expectation for your mom to have that independence again from a stroke, that's unrealistic, to be honest.
Yeah, it is unrealistic.
Like it can happen, but it's very unrealistic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, I sure would love more context here because, so I'm assuming the dad is not in the picture because he's not mentioned anywhere.
Mhm.
And so there are 7 kids. If this lady is in her mid 50s, the oldest that the oldest can be is probably like 30 or something.
Yeah. So, what I think was so funny is that it says, I've just started refusing to help her do tasks.
Damn.
I believe she can do her own if she tries. He's an asshole for that, or
Yeah.
he or she, because you shouldn't refuse but you should approach it in a graded manner where you are slowly helping build that independence rather than just stopping it altogether.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking like, what if this is something like, for example, going to the washroom and needing to clean up after yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like, oh, you can do it yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of intense.
I mean, yeah.
But you're right. This sure does make this person seem younger. But it at least from the wording of this post, it seems like the other siblings are not around, and it's just the original poster that's here to take care of the mom.
Yeah.
In the broader situation, it's hard to put the entire blame on this person. I mean, you are an asshole for, like what you said, like refusing to help in things that this person believes that their mom can do on their own. I don't think that's really fair.
And then, like it says here, in her mid-40s, she had that stroke. It's been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 years, still she's not fully independent.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's not going to get better.
It's not going to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunate. And take it from, I can't comment on the mom, right? Like, but in my mind, why would your mom want to keep you here? Like, wouldn't your mom want to, of course, want you to flourish if you could?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously she's disabled, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, once again, I can't comment on her mom's character, but like,
dude, out of principle alone, refusing to help a disabled person, I think you're automatically kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
and then the added context that it's your mom, and she's half paralyzed after a stroke.
Like, it's a very shitty situation. Like, I get it, and the burnout, I get it as well. And once again, the context is limited. But just from this, I will say he's an asshole. But I think what I would like to know is that he has 6 other siblings.
Yes,
like talk to the siblings. He didn't mention that any of that here.
Yeah,
he's the youngest, or they're the youngest. So what's there? Like, obviously the oldest would have more responsibility, I would assume, unless they're not in their lives. So
yeah, there has to be so much more going on. Like you said, this person is the youngest. Like, the older siblings should definitely be doing something, and maybe they are. Maybe they are doing something, and this like youngster is kind of like leaving all that information out.
Yeah, I guess if it's like the siblings are just pushing it all on them, then like they're not the asshole. You know what I mean? Like, then that's a severe burden on the author.
Yes. Still, I think I think still for that specific thing of refusing to do tasks that they believe that the mom can do on your own, I think you have to take some responsibility there. You are kind of an asshole. Like, even if I'm like that's like, I'm walking on the road and someone with a walker is having trouble crossing the street. They ask me to help them cross the street and I say no. Like, obviously I'm an asshole there,
Yeah.
Like, regardless of any other context, that kind of just makes me an asshole. So it's, in that sense, I think this person is slightly an asshole for that specific situation. But in the broader context, if your older siblings are not doing anything to contribute to the situation positively, then they are major assholes. And unfortunately, you've been dealt such a shitty hand.
Yeah. And like, once again, if you try to look at it from the mom's perspective, imagine how scared she must be.
Yeah.
Like, to lose that functioning and to become dependent on someone. Like, no one wants to become dependent on someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, she's half paralyzed. She can move half her body. I don't even know like what half, like what exactly that means. It might not even be half. It might be like being able to move one arm, And for a kid, that's like, oh, good enough for half, whatever.
From this context alone, like, I know it's very limited, I would think that this person's an asshole.
If you're in the situation, what would you do?
And if I'm in the situation and I'm in the setting that I'm really burnt out, I'd first have a conversation with my mom that I'm burnt out. And then I'd try to have a conversation with my siblings to try to work something out. Like, do I need to get healthcare aids to help out my mom?
Yeah.
Do I need to hire someone along with my siblings to help them out? Can I start it off that, oh, maybe I'll help out in these specific times, and they can kind of alternate? Or I can like take an approach where, oh, I'll slowly help with this, and then let's see if they can do it with, like, slowly without my help. Which I think that's unrealistic, but because I would assume like physiotherapy and occupational therapy would have worked all that with the mom. You know what I mean?
I'm guessing. Well, I don't know, man. Maybe it's something that was like unaffordable. They never really.
Yeah, that's true.
But a family of 7 kids, come on, you can.
It's a big family.
Yeah, you guys got to be able. It's your fucking mom. Man.
But to be honest, though, like, if I was in that situation, I would not move out though.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like,
But then
it's hard to say.
but I guess like their ethnicity or like race isn't mentioned here. Like I'm Asian, so we have a more of a our values, our family values are more different. Because you know, in Asian culture, there's this like view of taking care of your families is a lot more
definitely
reinforced than Caucasians, I would say.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm biased that way, but yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you, where like I could never do this to one of my parents.
Yeah.
But it's also hard to judge that person based on our like worldview, because who knows, maybe this mom was like not.
Yeah, that's true. Like it was maybe the mom was a fucking like asshole who traumatized the kid.
Yeah.
Completely could be different. But that's why I'm just like, just based on this information, I want to say that the author is the asshole. Yeah.
So this person does mention, once I finish college and get my license, I like many will move out. So I'm guessing that they're in college right now.
Yeah.
And sounds like everyone else in the house has moved out.
Ready for the comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. First one, not the asshole. However, talk to your siblings. Your mother clearly needs support, but it appears that you are the one carrying the most burden because presumably you live at home. You and your siblings need to make an equitable plan. The comment, they replied, my siblings don't live here anymore, so they don't see how she acts. We all agree she can't depend on me forever, but nobody actually tries to make her more independent but me. My mother doesn't even try. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay, this is so complicated. For example, or not for example, but two things that stand out to me are, so the siblings have all left the house, and it seems like they all, like once someone left the house, they basically absolved themselves of responsibility in the situation and decided my younger siblings will take care of it. And I feel like that's been constantly going on over and over and over, and we're at the last sibling now. And none of the other siblings seem to really give a shit. They kept pushing it off to the other sibling, basically kicking the can down the road. And another thing I have a problem with is the original poster saying, my mother doesn't even try to be more independent, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I got some problems with that. You know, it's so difficult. Like, you're telling a paralyzed person to try harder, man. I don't know. That seems kind of fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see here all the posters saying not the asshole.
Yeah, like this guy saying, not the asshole, your mother has to help herself. I have a sister who had a stroke in her 50s, so I know it is difficult. Your mother has 7 kids that should all help her. True. You cannot be expected to put your life on hold and live with her the rest of her life, all while your siblings live their life as though they have no responsibility towards their mother. Also true. Part of the process should involve determining how disabled your mother actually is. The fact she refuses to do the exercises properly in order to gain some independence is telling. There are government programs that will help as well. I mean, it sounds like the mom could be like pretty severely depressed too. I mean, could you imagine going through having like, you know, a normal life in your 40s, all of a sudden you have a stroke and now half your body can't move? That itself is debilitating, you know? Just having to deal with the reality of that.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, they're saying, like, oh, you deserve your own life. Just help her get set up for when you leave. But I mean,
I feel like that's bad advice.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, they should definitely arrange something, but like, you can't just stop doing tasks refuse to do tasks for your mom.
Dude, this is why in you remember Click, the movie?
Yeah.
And it gets to the end of the movie and Adam Sandler's like crying because his dad's gone now. You know, he didn't have that. He didn't get to have that time with his dad that he didn't realize that he wanted until it was too late. I feel like this is why so many people have that moment when they become old themselves. They think about, you know, the time that they had with their parents when they were younger, and they didn't use that time effectively. They weren't as good people as they could have been. And I can see why, you know, like, I feel like this is exactly what leads to that. And it's your mom, man. Like, as long as she was, you know, it's fair if she was like a terrible person, treated you horribly. And this goes for all the siblings. I don't mean like just the commenter, more so on the other siblings. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? Contribute a little bit, you know, like help your younger brother / sister out.
If anything, I'd say they're more the asshole.
Yes, they're 100%.
To not live in the area, and they put this on the youngest. That's kind of fucked. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, like 7 siblings, and they can't all afford to chip in together to pay for a caregiver. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me. I feel like 7 siblings should be able to afford that for their mother.
What is ESH again?
Everyone sucks here.
Okay, so I think my conclusion is that he's a mild asshole for just starting to refuse to help her. But it's a shitty situation. But I think the bigger assholes are their siblings.
Totally. Yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah, this person's lashing out at a disabled family member, which by default makes you an asshole. But with the broader context of the siblings being completely absent, it's the siblings who are at fault. This poor person is just has all of the burden of the family on their shoulders.
And once again, like I said before, caregiver burnout is real. But then maybe they're too young to know what other help they could reach out. But I think what have been more appropriate is to find help. Reach out to siblings, reach out to anyone else to see what they could do and get help for themselves, because it sounds like they're struggling from this.
Yeah, I mean, what a massive burden. Like not just physically but mentally, having to deal with your mother suddenly becoming disabled, but then now you've got to invest all this time and energy to take care of them, which I think you should, but undeniably it is quite taxing.
Yeah, so I'd say like mild asshole, because I'm trying to sympathize a lot with them, and I can see it as well, because it seems like they're still a kid, as in like very early adult or late adolescence type of age.
Yeah. Probably around college age though.
Yeah, I'm assuming like 18 to like 20.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that age, like I was definitely way more immature. So
me too.
Gotta give credit for where it's due, and the fact that they've been trying to help out this far, like definitely recognize that. But
yeah, I mean, just imagine, so they've been dealing with this for like 10 years now, because the stroke happened mid-40s and now the mom is mid-50s.
Yeah.
So, and when this is like a daily struggle for you, it becomes such a huge part of your life that like you're constantly thinking about it, And if you have a problem with it, the problem just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I can't imagine how long this person's been so frustrated about this.
Yeah. Okay. So conclusion, mild asshole?
Mild asshole. The siblings are terrible.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the mom. Pretty bad for the mom.
But I don't necessarily blame the poster.
Yeah, I don't really blame the poster either,
because it's a shitty situation.
But like you should still help your mom. Don't refuse to like do tasks. Just like suck it up a little bit for now, but like start figuring out some things so you don't have to keep doing this.
Yeah. Okay, so last one for the episode. Are you ready?
Yeah, this one's a doozy.
Okay. Am I the asshole for punishing my son after he said something racist?
You're never an asshole for punishing anyone after they said something racist. If someone says something racist on the streets, I think you should punish them. I don't think you'll be ever considered an asshole 100% for that behavior.
Okay. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is a story. About a week ago, the author is a 39-year-old female. Family ordered Chinese food for delivery. When the delivery driver came to the door, my daughter, 16-year-old female, was taking the cat upstairs to put in her room because he always tries to eat the food. My son, 13-year-old, loudly says, "Make sure to hide the cat from the Chinese guy," as I am at the door getting the food from the Chinese delivery driver. He very obviously heard what my son said and was upset by it. I quickly apologized and took the food. I told my son that racist jokes were completely unacceptable and very wrong, and he refused to admit that he was in the wrong. So, later that night, I forced my son to write a sincere apology to the delivery driver. His name was on the receipt, as well as write a one-page paper on Chinese culture and a one-page paper on why racism is perpetuated by racist jokes and stereotypes.
Wow.
Then the next day, I took him to the restaurant and had him read his apology aloud to the delivery driver, as well as give him the papers he wrote. The driver is very appreciative of the apology and thanked me for making my son do it. He then told my son about multiple instances where he had faced racist comments and attacks from people while he was a delivery driver. That night, my husband, 43-year-old, and I got into an argument about me making our son do this. He told me that it was embarrassing for our son to have to do an apology and that the punishment didn't fit the crime. I told him that it was much more embarrassing for the driver to have to face that kind of racism and racist stereotypes, and that her son would get over the embarrassment. I do not condone any kind of hateful thinking in my house. In fact, that my son said that embarrassed me as well. My husband told me that it was just a joke and that it wasn't that big of a deal. I feel like I might have overreacted some, but I think it's important to help my son understand how what he said was wrong and hurtful.
What do you think?
No, not the asshole. Like anything. It's amazing parent.
Dude, not the asshole at all. And even more so, what an amazing woman. I would fall for this lady, you know, making her son does something so terrible and she does something so amazing as forcing him to write down not only a sincere apology, but a one-page report on Chinese culture, taking him to the restaurant and having him read all that shit out loud in public. That is amazing parenting. That is beautiful. W mom.
I agree. I mean, on the other hand, the husband.
Goddamn, what a loser. What's with all these amazing women marrying these fucking idiots, man? This guy, I feel like a lot of people do this. A lot of racist people do this, where they'll minimize their...
racist people do that, yeah.
Yeah, well, where they'll minimize their racism, play it off as a joke, when it's like, hey man, whoever you're being racist to isn't fucking laughing about this, okay? It's just you laughing because you're racist. And your kid said this, it was racist, and you're okay with it, and that makes you racist. And, you know, it's so dangerous because that's exactly what perpetuates this kind of behavior in the son.
Because saying like, oh, it's just a joke.
Yeah, it's just a joke. Dad does it. Dad says it all the time, you know? Dad fucking smokes cigarettes. Why can't I smoke cigarettes? Dad drinks alcohol. It's cool. I'm going to drink alcohol. Yeah. Dad makes racist jokes. I'm going to make racist jokes. Sounds like you got a fucking idiot dad, man.
Yeah, learned behavior, man. Like you gotta teach him young so that it doesn't perpetuate, like it said in the post, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And what a horrible experience for that poor delivery driver. You know, he's just trying to make money.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he comes home, he makes a delivery, and some fucking 13-year-old piece of shit makes a racist Chinese joke, and that is so crushing. And obviously, he's not going to reveal how crushing it is in that moment. He's not going to start breaking down and like start feeling all sad for himself in front of like the person he's making a delivery to. But that shit hurts so much, man. Like that poor guy. Nothing hurts. Strangely enough, I feel like getting made fun of by kids hurts more than getting made fun of by adults.
Really?
I think so, because at least for me, because like I see kids as like pure, you know, they're just like pure.
Even teenagers?
I mean, fuck them kids.
Yeah. I mean,
actually,
this guy's like a teen.
Yeah, true. He's a teenager.
Like,
you know, yeah, I would say even teenagers. Like, what if like some adult says some stupid shit to me, I can get over it super fast because I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot. You never grew up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But then if a kid says some crazy shit, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You know. But yeah, the husband talking about it like it's just a joke. That's so pathetic.
No, I agree.
That's so pathetic, and it's so damaging. But the mom, like, what an amazing thing to do by her, to go not only to re-educate her son, explaining why exactly what he did was wrong, but to push it so far as to, you know, kind of traumatize him a little bit, which I think is like kind of valid in this situation.
To traumatize the kid?
Yeah. By having him go in public into the restaurant and read his apology or whatever.
Yeah.
I can see that as being like a little traumatizing, but like, you know.
It could, yeah.
You know, I feel like it's a very valuable lesson. And
well, do you think there could have been another way to approach it better, more fruitful?
Right now, no. I think this was the best thing that she could have done, and I think this was the best outcome.
Yeah.
I think the mom did an amazing job.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not that. I mean, I guess from a kid's perspective, it could be embarrassing, but like...
Yeah, like it's embarrassing, but it's like...
It's not in front of everyone, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not in front of your peers. It's just a restaurant of people that the kid has no idea about. Probably a bunch of adults.
Yeah.
You know, no kids around, so...
I bet this kid would grow up and be like, wow, I'm glad my mom made me
Exactly, 100%. I was just thinking, you know, I wasn't the greatest kid. I have made like stupid jokes in the past. And if like something like this would have happened, I would have learned way sooner. You know, I would have been set on the right course way sooner. And I think that goes for so many kids. You know, kids do stupid shit because they learn stupid shit from stupid adults, and then they grow up to be stupid adults unless it gets fixed like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
I
agree.
think this mom did a great thing. I think hopefully it got through to the kid.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it didn't, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. Like I wish I got this type of
Yeah, that's what
like,
I'm saying.
scolding. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Like if I did something like terrible, I wish I got an adult told me off like this. Because I feel like it's probably one of the best things for the child's enrichment.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go on to the comments?
Yeah. The top one. Not the asshole. Sounds like your husband could use a lesson too.
Totally, man.
Yeah. Like my first thought after hearing the dad's reaction. Guess why the son think it's okay.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And you know, we've read a couple of these "Am I the asshole?" posts up until now. You know, scouring through stuff and trying to find, you know, what would be good to talk about. And I've noticed that in so many of these posts, husbands are fucking idiots, man. Like these middle-aged dudes always have like the worst takes, constantly enabling their shitty kids to do shitty things.
And then not the asshole, your husband's attitude is precisely the problem and is why systemic racism continues to propagate in this country. Kudos to you for a very just and well thought out lesson for your son, which I hope he can truly learn from and perhaps help some of the issues that are breaking our society apart. Perhaps your husband needs to do some similar homework in regards to what racism is and how it harms not simply the people it is directed at, but all people as a whole. Honestly, I'm so proud of you. Facts. I think I agree. I'm trying to see if there's anyone that argues against it, but yeah, I don't know.
I would be so surprised.
Yeah.
If anyone did, I mean, they would just be blatantly outing themselves as a racist.
Yeah. One says, now.
Okay, there's one right below.
Can I go a little against the grain here and say what's
not an asshole?
Not an asshole. I think you and your husband believe differently about the severity of a 13-year-old making an inappropriate joke. From other comments, you made it sound like he doesn't have a problem with the research paper or the written apology, but with forcing to read it to the delivery driver in front of other people. Public speaking is often quoted as being feared more than death, so I can understand why he might think that was just one step too far. I think his opinion as your son's father is valid as well as your opinion as his mother. I personally think it's great what you did and applaud you, but not the asshole implies your husband is, and I just think there isn't enough evidence for that.
I disagree completely. I think there is more than enough evidence to label the husband as an asshole.
Yeah,
I think that reaction to that situation is unacceptable.
Yeah, and I think it's not fair just to label this as an inappropriate joke. Like, yeah. I don't know.
That's minimizing it. You know, it is not an inappropriate joke. It is a racist joke.
Yeah, and it's like it could be so hurtful. You know what I mean?
It is so hurt. It's not that it can be. It is. It markedly is. It 100% is. There's not a single person on the planet that isn't hurt by racism.
Yeah.
You know, to think that, and for someone else to think that it's like harmless, it's not hurtful. It's just naive. It's stupid and it's racist.
Well, there's one. You're the asshole. A simple apology would have been enough. Your son is 13. It's one thing to tell your son not to make jokes like that. It's way over the top to force him to read out a public apology as if he's being forced publicly to confess like a political prisoner in a totalitarian state. Ironically, communist China makes people do this. So in that respect, I suppose you're teaching about Chinese culture. And honestly, if a child makes him a joke about my culture, it would be extremely cringy, and I would be embarrassed for him to publicly read out something like that to me. Just an I'm sorry would be enough.
This guy almost sounds racist too.
So this is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Holy fuck, man.
What the hell?
I mean, like 13, like sure, you might not know better. Like I get, you know what I mean? You're in grade 7.
Yeah.
I was dumb as fucking grade 7.
Me too.
But still, I knew what racism was by grade 7. You know what I mean? And that's why during your formative years, to teach this is so critical and later in your life. And I think what the mom did is still super appropriate.
I think so too. And I think the way that this commenter explains the situation, I think it is very representative of a 13-year-old's understanding of the situation, where it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't actually hurt anyone. I just made a little joke, you know? And since I made a little joke, I'm okay with saying sorry. I don't think it was that embarrassing, so I shouldn't be that embarrassed. When in reality, that's not the case at all. This was a terribly inappropriate thing that leads to more terribly inappropriate things. If you don't get punished for these shitty things that you say and do, it emboldens you. It teaches you that it's okay to do this. That there are not going to be repercussions for this. And you know what? It's incredibly dangerous because the more emboldened you feel about this, if this kid grows up thinking that racist jokes like these are okay, he's going to keep thinking it's okay until he meets someone that doesn't think it's okay.
Yeah.
And that can get really fucking bad for this kid.
Yeah. And there's one comment said, most Asians I know would laugh.
Okay, this guy can go fuck
like, come on,
themselves.
like, that's the problem. Like, they shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, this person is saying most Asians I know would laugh. Well, fuck you, man. Everyone doesn't know most Asians you know. Who knows what the fuck kind of Asians you know?
Yeah. And yeah, the less popular ones are like, oh, you overreacted and humiliated your son. Being like, oh, it was appreciative of the apology, but you ambushed him at work. What do you expect?
What? You're the asshole for involving the delivery driver in your son's punishment. You say he was appreciative of the apology, but you ambushed him at work. What do you expect? He couldn't very well tell you to fuck off now, could he? It's bad enough you had to put up with your son's shit the other night, but this poor guy's just trying to do his job and you show up at his place of employment and put him on the spot. Create a scene. Also, you can teach your son a lesson. Guess what? It's not his responsibility to teach your kid not to be a racist prick. It's yours and you're not doing so hot. I mean, that's a funny comment. Kind of fair, sure. But I mean, I don't think the person was like pissed off that some kid came to apologize to him. I think most people would be like appreciative of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I still stand by the mom is not the asshole.
I think the mom did a great thing. And if you're listening to this and you're in a similar situation where you see racism happen in front of you, play out in front of you,
I think especially as an adult, you should intervene because kids,
especially if it's your friends.
You know what I mean? Because like it's kids, like I get it. It will be hard to point it out because you don't want to be the one to be bullied. You don't want to get picked on for pointing stuff out that all your other friends are doing. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely hard in the kids like teen setting. But as a parent, as an adult, if you see it, you should definitely point it out and be like, no, that's wrong. I need to teach you about what should be done.
100%. I mean?
Well, that was an easy one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that's all the time we have for today.
Really? That was fast.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good discourse over those three posts that we went over. Yeah,
let us know if you guys are liking this kind of stuff. I feel like we do like a preamble, postamble a lot. Where we're saying like, oh, we're changing the format and here it is. But anyways, if you guys do like this, please let us know. Get in touch somehow. Yeah. We'd love to hear your feedback on what you like. And if you like something else, something similar to this, or maybe something completely different from this, let us know about that too. Or any topics you guys want us to talk about. We would love to talk about anything and everything, especially if it interests you. But thank you very much for tuning into this episode. This was part of our mini-series, I believe. And we'll maybe do another one. Maybe not. Maybe we'll jump onto something else. But that was it.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Maybe something similar, or maybe we keep doing the same thing. But yeah, that was it for this week's episode of Catch Up with Kai and Cohen. Thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. And we will catch you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.